Today is a great day for people to just sit back and realize what it means to be a veteran, and for the population in general to understand what a veteran gives up in terms of sacrifice for his country and for his fellow citizens to protect their rights and freedoms and their way of life. So I think it's a great honor for me to be here today with all these people who have given of themselves, for a greater good for the country and for their fellow citizens. We have a great way of life here. I think we have freedoms and rights and privileges and a way of life that's very hard to appreciate unless you've seen other places in the world, how people live, and repressions and lack of freedoms. And that's what we're over there for, to protect our right of freedoms and our way of life. And unless you've really seen how other people live and the other repressions that are elsewhere in the country, we don't appreciate what we have here. And I think that gets lost lots of times. While it's recognized one day of the year maybe, and Memorial Day we recognize those who have given their lives, which is the ultimate sacrifice, in many ways, we don't appreciate the number of injured veterans that come back. I mean, the number of injured veterans just from operations in Afghanistan and Iraq are tremendous. People are in spinal cord injuries, who have limbs lost, and their way of life has changed forever because of their sacrifice for their country. And I think we don't really appreciate and recognize that enough, in our daily lives. It's a great feeling to be able to just have someone come up and say to you, like on your way back in the airport, if you're in uniform, somebody in uniform, I would say, what branch of the service are you in, what are you doing, and thanks for your service. I mean, even just a simple thank you from a citizen means a lot to people. I mean, they don't even really appreciate how much that means to a veteran. Just to know that their service has been acknowledged and that their sacrifice has been acknowledged and that it was worth something to somebody. So, I mean, that makes a huge difference, and I know that's how I felt, and I know that's how a lot of people feel in the military and in uniform. Just a simple thank you for your service is really a very uplifting thing for them. When we think of what goes on in a war, I mean, obviously the guys that are the shooters and the hunter killers, they're the guys that kind of execute the mission in a sense of accomplishing some of the goals. But for everyone that's doing that, there's probably 10 people behind the scenes who are coordinating all the supply and all the support that goes into that, plus the support of former service personnel, in the military. I mean, it's a tremendous network of people, and all doing things for the greater good and supporting each other. The Army has its own blood program for combat casualties, for blood donations, and every day I was in the hospital seeing people coming in donating blood for their fellow soldiers in case they needed it. And it's a tremendous thing to see that all these people in the military come together to support their soldiers and their personnel. And there's a lot of things that go on behind the scene that we don't even see or know about in the media, that you don't appreciate, but that if they don't happen, the mission doesn't get accomplished. So it's yeah, you're right. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that doesn't get appreciated.